L, chat L. You also might know her as Horizon. It's pretty much tradition around here before we get into introductions, before we say hi and we get into the spicy details. If you could please bless us, chat, and everybody else who will be watching this later on YouTube. If you could please say Mozambique here, level 4, for everybody out there in Horizon's voice.
Okay. Mozambique here, level 4, darling.
Do you do roles that are usually with your accent, or is this like the first role that you've embraced it?
This is my voice, and
right.
then this Horizon's more like, oh, he's a bit of a Egypt. Like there's a little
right.
bit of, there's a little bit. I raise her a little bit, but I started out doing all Scottish, and then I celebrated when I branched out and did non-Scottish.
Okay.
So I've done a lot of different accents over the years in different games and also animation. It's nice to come back though, and always nice to do my own accent because it's such a nice accent. Was in the middle of moving, and a casting director, Terry Douglas, reached out to me, and she was like, I put you forward for this. And then my agent called and he's like, we put you forward for this. And so I did the audition as I was moving, and it was like just as COVID hit.
Oh no.
So it's like, yeah, it was pretty hardcore. It was a crazy time.
Right.
And so I'm packing up everything in my truck because I couldn't hire anyone to move me. So I had to move myself in my own truck. Thankfully, I was only moving like across the way, so which made it easier. Anyway, right. So I did my audition, and then I kind of forgot about it because I didn't actually know what it was for, because they don't tell you. They give you code names for everything. I can't even remember the code name, and I probably wouldn't be able to tell you anyway. But anyway, there's a code name, so I didn't really know what it was for. In fact, I had no idea what it was for. So I sent it, and that was great. I just knew it was Scottish, and that was all I knew. And then Terry said, hey, that's great, you got the call back. And so I did my call back in my new place that I'm in now, and from my closet. And that's when they told me, they said, well, do you know what it's for? Did you guess? And I said, no, I have no idea what it's for. And then they told me, and I was like, oh. So, and I don't know, the callback was really fun because like you said, I didn't have to think too much because she's kind of like me, I'm klutzy, and I've already sent you a message, 5 messages, and I'm such a techno dude. So, I twiddle my stuff like she does. I'm always like twiddling things. And so for me, it wasn't so much that it was an acting stretch per se, but it was an absolute pleasure. It was just fun because and I asked them, I said, is it okay if I play with some of the dialogue so that I can bring in like a real Scottish flair, and they were like, yeah, sure, absolutely. And so I got to say things, like Egypt and Bampot, and honestly, I can't remember most of the things I said. Fandabby Dozy.
Thank you, Vessi, for partnering today's video. All right, boys, let me ask you a question. Do you enjoy soggy socks? Because I don't. Well, introducing Vessi. Vessi is a classic shoe with all the benefits of Vessi's innovative features: 100% waterproof, sandproof, slushproof, slip-proof, so they keep your feet totally dry. The weekend shoe is also machine washable. So since I live in Florida, it's always raining here, and it's raining right now, so I decided to go outside, put these on, and see if they really are waterproof and how comfortable they are. And Vessi really is not playing around. These have a dual climate knit material, so they make the shoes really comfortable and breathable, so they keep you cool in the summer and warm in the winter. It works! Like I said earlier, I live in Florida, so it's literally wet, soggy, humid, sandy. It's disgusting. Coming back inside from jumping in those sandy, wet puddles, my shoes are dry, and they're still super comfortable. Vessi is having an incredible early Black Friday sale right now. You can go click the link in the description and get yourself a pair for the snowy season, or use code RETRO at checkout. I don't know what you're saying. It literally sounds like gibberish to me. Obviously it means something, but I remember playing when it first came out the first 3 days, and I was like, trying to see what Horizon was about and like hear all her voice lines and interaction with the legends. And I hear things in like my right ear that literally sounds like gobbledygook. Like I don't know what I had to like turn on subtitles and like look up what you're saying. But that's really cool, like to hear slang and different terms, that I've never heard before.
Yeah, so that's really like, that was one of the most fun parts, was for me just getting to go back to being like 12 years old and
Yeah.
saying things. And when I booked it and we started actually recording in-game dialogue, all the stuff was coming back to me, and I was like, can I say this? Can I say you can say that, as long as it's PG, you can say that.
Yeah.
Like, and I was like, yeah, and I'm like just throwing in all this stuff, and it's been awesome because I've had all these Scottish gamers reach out to me, and they're just like, oh my god, I cannot believe that you said this, or I love that you're it's making everybody the same as me. Like, I'm saying things that that nobody said in 20 years, but it's stuff to say when I was a kid, you know. It's so fun. It's fun. There's not enough that can be said about the talent at Respawn. I mean, we could spend the next 5 days just, you know, talking about the sheer talent behind this game. When that video dropped, when I saw, you know, Horizon's lore video, it's hard to ever, anyone that knows me would be like, you're right, because I was speechless. I mean, I don't get speechless often because, you know, I'm a yammery chatty Scot, but that, I was like, my jaw hit the floor and I could not believe what I was looking at. It was beyond anything I've ever, I mean, I've been in a lot of games and I've done cinematics, but I've never done anything that's like that I had no idea, because I recorded it from a closet in a time of a pandemic.
You recorded all your dialogue from a closet in a pandemic. Like, I'm doing this, I have this nice little setup at home that I try and make professional, but you're literally voicing a character in one of the world's biggest battle royales from your closet. It's wild.
Yeah, that was the fun part though, because I think Anjali's, maybe, I don't know, I think maybe she started she would have recorded before the pandemic, because I think by the time season 6 came out, we were maybe in pandemic, so you usually record months before. So I think I might be the only, I don't know, maybe Anjali doesn't know, but I might be the first fully fleshed legend to record the whole thing at home, you know, in a pandemic.
The official pandemic legend. It's true. It's official. It's lore. There's no denying it.
And it was hilarious because, like I said, I'm kind of clumsy and klutzy, and you know, and I kept dropping things. I mean, it was tiny. I mean, my closet, it's not a walk-in closet.
Right.
It's a sliding closet, or a wardrobe, as we call them in Scotland. It's a wardrobe, like a sliding wardrobe. And so you walk in and I'm facing, so the door's here,
right,
the other wall's here. Like, I'm like this, and I'm recording between the door and the wall, and my mic is in front of me, and I have like a setup against this wall, and then my clothes are behind me. And so I had to do head cam stuff for the trailer, the season 7 trailer, with Roger and Chris and Anjali, and I had to put like the full head rig on, and the head rig, it's a big helmet, but like there's the camera sticks away out.
Yeah.
It's like and there's, you know, there's mics and stuff. And I would turn my head and I would literally like smash it into the wall, or I would hook myself. I mean, I'm not joking. There's no Hollywood. There's nothing Hollywood about this, guys.
I just imagine you like standing in your closet trying to get into the acting and everything, but you're literally like this, trying to like move around.
This is me in the closet. Hang on, guys. Oh, just 1 minute. I you know, and I'm constantly like going out of frame, and I'm constantly up and down, and I'm going, hang on, and I'm like waving my arms around. So maybe, I don't know, maybe they just were like, yeah, that has to, I don't know.
That's my personal headcanon now. I firmly believe that they saw that and they took great inspiration from it, because it is very similar to how Horizon acts, so it wouldn't surprise me.
Well, I definitely do this a lot. You've seen me this whole time, I'm like this. You know, I'm very twiddly and like, and I think that thing that she does, the like, those are kind of like, I don't know, I wouldn't say I do those exactly, but definitely I have a lot of tics. I'm kind of twitchy.
Where specifically are you from, and what you say in the lines, is that from a specific region?
Yeah, I mean, so I'm from just outside of Glasgow.
Okay. And
that's the west coast of Scotland. And so we would call it, the direct way of saying it would be Ouija patter. So you're a Glaswegian. So if you're from Glasgow, you're a Glaswegian, and you shorten that to Ouija. So you're a wee Ouija, you're from Glasgow, and so it'd be Ouija patter, and patter is like, I was gonna say like the crack, but that's Irish, so that's not gonna help. So it's like the God, I don't know what the American word for it would be, like just when you're just shooting the breeze,
Yeah.
like just hanging out, and
Okay.
the way you chat, like that's called Glaswegian patter.
Okay.
A lot of the stuff that I was bringing in is what we would call Ouija patter.
You do an American accent.
Yes. And I often, when I answer my phone, I just start talking like this because nobody understands me. So I just start talking.
That's weird. That's
You know.
actually, I don't like that. That's weird.
It really is. It's so strange. It really is. It's like so bizarre, but it's something I've been doing for years. So
When was the first time that you tried or officially did an American accent?
Well, I grew up watching American TV, so
okay.
I kind of, like we really did watch all of the American movies. Like everything was imported in. So from a very young age, I've been doing voices. Like I would impersonate people, and
Oh, okay.
I would do voices and accents and characters, and so I mean, it stands to reason I became a voice actor.
Do you know if Horizon has ADHD, or is that just is her personality just extremely like fast-witted and quirky?
So, somebody actually asked me that, and I got into a little bit of a discussion with someone who asked that, and I said I cannot speak at all for the writers. I'm not sure, but I actually have ADD, and so I said that I don't have the H part,
Right.
and I said that some of the stuff I was talking about, we were talking about, it's called stimming, and some of the stimming that we were talking about, it's things that I do. It's like little, like I have like little things that just like physical. And so I said to this person who had asked me, and I said, I can't speak for them, but I can say for myself that I would imagine that with all the trauma and all the struggles that she's been through, that some of this, the tics and the stims are potentially, a way to cope. So again, I can't speak for them, and I'm not officially going on record.
Right.
But I can speak for myself and say that that's one of the things that me as Elle, like I have those little physical, So I would say yes, from my perspective.
Okay.
Even my own personality and the way that, I tend to be like, I'm an animal rescuer, and like I'm the kind of one that would have like, I used to, at one point I had 10 cats because I was pulling cats out of a shelter. And like, so that kind of like way that she is, that compassion, and sort of like that's, I would like to think that, I like to think that about myself, that like I have some of that bleeding heart stuff going on. So it's nice to have a character that you actually, that you fall in love with, that way, because it's, I don't know, I've always, in games I usually play, badasses, and she's a badass, but they're badass in a different way, but she's very real, and she's very, I don't know, I guess because it's the mom thing. She's just got this empathetic thing going on that I certainly warmed to as a character. I certainly warmed to that, and it made it very easy to bring her to life.
One thing that you feel comfortable sharing about yourself that most people would never think or have any idea that you do or have done?
I think for mine, I think I sort of touched on it as animal rescue. I'm a huge animal lover. I love animals, and I love nature. And so I think for me, it's maybe, I have a horse. I have this 26-year-old horse who I bought 7 years ago. And about 6 months after buying her, I realized something wasn't right. She didn't seem right. She was kind of tired all the time, and she seemed depressed.
Okay.
And so I don't even know how this happened, but very long story short, I somehow came across, there's a genetic disease that horses apparently can get, which we didn't know at that time. So I did a genetic test on her. She had her whole DNA sequenced. And from that, they were able to license tests. And now from my horse, there are tests all over the world. And now horses get diagnosed and tested with this equine genetic muscle disease that my horse had and nobody knew about.
Whoa, that's so interesting. Like,
That's very
That's
Horizon.
crazy. Like, yeah, that's very Horizon. That's
Yeah.
so cool.
And I'm on the board of this. So because I found this genetic company, and so she's kind of their mascot, and now they have this whole thing going on where they do all this DNA sequencing on horses, specifically for horses, for different genetic diseases in horses. And I'm on the board. So I'm actually sitting on the board of this genetic, equine genetic muscle disease company.
Okay, I officially believe that we are in the timeline where everything has perfectly come together, because Mela is literally just like Lifeline. She literally bakes care packages and brings to the people. Johnny was crypto. He is crypto. He, you know, everything about him. And
Chris is a walking dad joke.
Exactly. Chris is Pathfinder. And then you, Horizon, are literally helping
on the board of science.
On a board of a science with DNA. Good God, it's perfect. I love everything about it. I want to say thank you, Elle Newlands, so much for coming on The Voice of Horizon, for hanging out with the community, letting us ask you questions, taking time out of your day. I really appreciate it. I've had a really, really fun time. We will get a fundraiser of her choice. I don't know if it's going to be in the description or on the side. I've never done it before.
Just Elle Newlands, Twitter. I do have an active Instagram where I post a lot of pictures of my horse and my animals. You know, it's more of my personal. If you're into that, you know, that's kind of more of me as Elle and less of Horizon. That's Elle Newlands Graham, like Instagram. So just all one word, Elle Newlands Graham. And the company is Equiseq. That's the name of if anyone's interested, EQUISEQ, Equiseq.
Could you please send everybody off into the world with one final Mozambique here, level 4 for us?
Mozambique here, level 4, darlings.
Did you know them all?